So, my name's Katie, and I go by RD Lennox on Twitter and just about everywhere else. And I don't know about you, but it's been a hard couple days. I woke up Thursday morning to some hard news, which was the fact that Andrew Breitbart had died. Now, I don't know. This is unedited, uncut. I'm not a speaker. I don't talk, I write, but I think getting over that fear of speaking, getting over that fear of putting myself out there and putting my face out there and being willing to do a video just kind of shows the impact that Breitbart had on my life. I never got to meet him personally, which I was expecting to this year, quite honestly. I thought this would be the year I'd finally get to hang out with him, finally get to just walk up to him and thank him for everything he's done. So, sometimes I guess it just comes down to the fact that we never know how many days we've got left and we've got to make the most of them. And Breitbart did that. And he inspired me to do that, and he inspired so many people. And my story with Breitbart's kind of funny because I didn't even like him when I first started hearing about him. I got back into politics really about a year ago, and Breitbart scared me. I was a non-confrontational conservative. I didn't like to get into fights. I didn't like to stand up for what I believed in. I like to go, well, okay, that might be what you believe, but it's not what I believe, but you can believe what you believe, and you can be equally right, and that just wasn't Breitbart, but that was me at the time, and I was 19 years old. I'm only 20 now, so it's been a year. Almost two, and I didn't like him. So I just kind of hung around the peripheral for a while. I didn't go near the Breitbart camp, and finally I just started kind of paying attention. I started watching a show called The Stage Right Show at the time, now called The Larry O'Connor Show. I started getting really involved, started writing a blog, started to get really interested in politics, and it brought me back to Breitbart. And Breitbart called in one of the days to the Larry O'Connor Show, and I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't tune in. Maybe it's going to get a little angry. Maybe it's going to get a little scary. And it wasn't. It was inspiring. To the point that evening, after the show was over, I sent an email. Me, a nobody, 19-year-old from Oregon, Salem, Oregon, felt so inspired and so ridiculous for having not given him a chance that I felt the need to email him and say sorry, for one, and to just say thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for breaking the Acorn story. Thank you for holding Washington accountable. Thank you for being out there. And I just wrote him an email, and I didn't expect anything of it. I thought it was just going to be one of those, I send an email, maybe he'll read it, maybe his assistant reads it. And within 30 minutes, he had followed me on Twitter and had responded to me. And I was blown away. And from that moment on, my life was kind of intertwined in so much that because of him, I got into the Stage Right Show. Because of him, I started going to Tea Party events. Because of him, I started talking to people. I started being bold. I looked at his life and I went, well, if he can do it, and if he can encourage all these other people around him to do it, why don't I? What do I have to lose? What do they have? They already insult me. They already call me a racist. They already say I'm a homophobe. They already say all these things. What more do they have on me? They have nothing. And so I fought, and I continue to fight. And it's because of Andrew Breitbart, which is so surreal, and I feel weird talking to family members about it, or friends, or anything, because it's so hard to explain. But he was that kind of man. He fought for it's not little people, but he fought for the everyday citizen. He fought for Americans. Real Americans. Not people who could pay him a bunch of money, not people who could give him endorsements. He fought for the normal Tea Partiers. He fought for the normal conservatives. He brought people up and encouraged them no matter where they were, no matter what their walk in life was. He told you if you had a camera and you went to a protest, you could be a journalist. You could do so many things. You could jump on the train and hold people accountable like he does. And he's gone. And it sucks. And part of me looks at it and goes, well, what now? And I've been hanging around on Twitter. I've been hanging around friends. Right now I'm stuck in Oregon when I'd really like to be in Southern California amongst all the people that Breitbart brought into my life. But I sit here and I realize there's so much more to do. We are Andrew Breitbart, which is the thing that's been going around Twitter. But it's true. I mean, he didn't just stand up there on his soapbox and control everything. He was a leader, but he was also an encourager. He was someone who brought people up. He was someone who started careers. He was someone who gave people a chance, who gave me a chance, who gave so many people who are now becoming strong conservative names as people who are willing to step out. He gave them a start. And he didn't have to. It wasn't something he had to do, but he did, because that was the kind of man he was. And so I say all that to say, I'm fired up. And I've cried a lot. And I've talked to a lot of people. And it hurts still. And my heart hurts for his family and his kids and his friends. And I just, in the end, I feel fired up. I want to step it up. I want to make him proud. Because I think that's what he'd want from us. And I encourage everyone to do it. Because that's his legacy. That's what he'd want. So with that, I'm going to end this little video. I don't know what will come of it, but I felt the need, because Andrew Breitbart, a man I never met in person, changed my life. He gave me confidence and boldness and family and friends and people I would have never met had it not been for him. So that's what it is. And I encourage everyone to make him proud, to get out there on rollerblades, to get out there with cameras, to get out there and do him proud. Do what he was doing, which was asking questions, provoking, but not in a bad way, but bringing people out, saying, what do you believe? Why do you believe it? And we got to keep the flame going, because he started a really amazing thing. And now it's our turn to step up. God bless. And I'll see you all around.